Hello and welcome to Theta Thursdays with your hosts Don Rhea and Mifune, followed by our producer Greg and our two guests currently here, and we've got hopefully one more coming, Ragnar Schwarzkopf and Azrael Aon. How's everybody doing this evening?
Doing all right.
All right, yeah.
I'm kind of freaked out, man. I just got up and I chugged a coffee, so I'm a little bit on edge.
Please don't have a heart attack on stream. I don't need that.
I'm pretty freaked out too, man. Officer spawns are fucked.
Yeah, especially when the officer spawns outside your car and busts you smoking weed.
That was a great segue.
Hi, Sandrin. I see you in chat.
You know what? Where's Docs? Where's Docs to complain about his officer shit?
Docs is sleeping. Oh, his poor little heart. So we'll probably get, since our other guest isn't here yet and he doesn't care about it as much, we'll just jump right into it. Big changes this week started. So the first half of the industry changes came in, along with a bunch of other things that they just kind of slipped in. You know how in Congress they'll make a bill and then they'll attach 50 other things to the bill and hope no one notices?
Yeah, that's earmarking. The actual word for that?
Yeah. So that's basically what CCP did on Tuesday. Because they didn't really explain it very well and no one understood what it meant. Because I know I read that, this line, which I posted somewhere, of it saying, asteroid belts with no ore spawned will disappear. Something like that, right?
Yeah, so basically, when you, especially for high-sec players are probably familiar with this, when you go into your right-click menu in space, and then you could go down to individual planets and then subdivide it by the moons and the customs offices, and the asteroid belts and all that other stuff in that right-click menu, that's what they're talking about. So that if an asteroid belt is empty, it will despawn and disappear from that right-click menu because you won't be able to look to it active and be completely despawned.
That's not what happened, Mifune. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. And we're going to go over it today. Yep.
Yeah. We'll get into the main news of the week.
I played the game like a week, so.
But what's everybody been doing?
Nobody knew what was happening this week. But the big thing, so the blueprints got seeded. Some of the gas sites supposedly got seeded, but not many people have found them. Some of the data and relic things to get for Titans and Capitals and such have been seeded. So this is the first half the industry changes came. And then the second half is going to be coming later, probably by the end of the month. Maybe early May at the latest, but who knows? And as I said, they slipped a bunch of other things in there. They had some quality of life changes, like you can now add jump bridges to your autopiloting. So now instead of having to pull up the map, looking at the green lines, figuring, okay, if I go here and here and here, then I'll be able to skip past all this stuff. Now, in Good Storm, we don't really know what jump bridges are anymore. They're a forgotten, pleasure.
Who needs them? Who needs a jump bridge when your content is one jump away?
Exactly. We are saving on ozone and buildings. I believe we have 2 jump bridges now.
We have 1 in catch.
Who the hell come up with the name Ansiblex?
Why would you tell them that, Mifune?
They already know that.
Listen, a lot of people are dumb, so.
Don, you're a lore queen. Explain Ansiblex, where they derive the name Ansiblex from.
No, we're not becoming a lore show. We're not.
No, but
I'm sorry.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Why couldn't they have named it something that A, people could pronounce, and B, something that fucking told people what it does? Yeah, take the Ansiblex. What? Is it some Icelandic thing?
I mean, dear God, they have places very rare.
Does it mean gateway to Thor's anus?
Let me tell you, in choir, when I had to sing a song in Icelandic language, that shit was difficult.
Oh, maybe you could give us a little sample, Mifune?
Oh, no, God, no. I haven't sung that song in 2 years, and I can't even remember half of the pronunciations, but It's titled Radi Radaren, I believe.
Oh, that was pretty good. Okay. Continue.
Oh,
It's coming back to
and
you
it's
now.
basically it's a story. It tells the story of the Headless Horseman and how old people can be very lonely, and how they don't have to be because they always have death.
What the
And
fuck?
like that's the whole thing with it.
Nice. Very, very characteristic of the Icelandic people.
So,
Everything's terrible.
So
Everyone
then,
dies.
yeah, and then so the thing is that the song, you stomp and you clap in it because it's supposed to like represent the clitter clattering of Death's horses, of like the Headless Horseman his horse.
Okay. Well,
It was a
now
cool song to sing.
Did you
veered
did you
off
do a lot of
course.
acid when you did that?
No, he was in high school. God.
No,
Yeah, that's when I did all my
Not
acid.
not everyone does acid. Or pot.
My
Makes
school.
you think Greg didn't do acid while in high school.
Hi, Brisk. You can come join us, Brisk, if you want to. We're going to talk about the changes and the fun calamity on that one, as well as some other stuff. But I want to get into the rocks before our other guest arrives, because I don't think he's
rocks off.
I do want to get my rocks off here.
Okay, sorry,
anyway,
Don.
so we have all these industry changes, and which is great. We knew they were coming. I'm super excited about them because I'll never do industry, so it absolutely impacts me very little. I just need to know, what do I need to collect, and go hunt that down, and that's what I'll do. But Funa, you were describing how everyone kind of thought the belt change was going to be that once the belt's empty, it's going to disappear off of the list, right? And then it'll be back the next day. No. So what happened is, a couple months ago, when they took rocks out of nullsec, with the original changes, with all the rocks getting shrunken down, volumes being taken away, things being, and then so they reduced the size of the rocks on everything, and then they moved things around where certain things don't spawn in low sec or null sec or high sec. They moved everything. They made it so about 14,500 belts don't spawn a rock ever, because they can't. And so yesterday, or when Tuesday's patch was about those belts. So since they cannot ever spawn a rock, they were removed from the game completely. And I don't know if this was under some. I don't know if it was under some guise for quality of life of right clicking and not warping to a belt and finding nothing there. I guess they figured, hey, if you find nothing in the belt and it's really annoying to do it, let's just remove the belt, so that way you don't have that, heartbreak every time you go to a belt.
Whoa, check.
Brings rats.
I see Cash in chat. Is there any way we can ping him and get him here?
I would love Cash to come on, but he's not always...
Cash, I haven't seen you in forever.
Yeah, Cash, if you can see this, buddy, go to INN Discord.
I've invited him before. Yeah, you should come on and join us.
Yeah, please, for the love of God.
Even if it's just a hangout,
anything that I don't want to talk about rocks and fucking industry.
I don't
or
care,
these
Greg.
Guys are
this
talking
is
about.
my show.
Yeah,
so
I know.
we gotta talk about rocks.
But anyway, back on the topic, I want to point out what Liva said in the chat. Is that the officer spawns are gone now, and a lot of them are, and it's like, cool. Did CCP knowingly know they were?
We already know 100% fact. We all already.
I want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely
on that,
none. They do not know what they did, because we've people.
Do they know now?
Them, well, after the 50 Reddit threads, I would hope so. And one of the best ones was Ragnar's. That was pretty funny.
Which one?
Yeah,
give rock.
Give rock.
Oh yeah, give rock.
Yeah, one that was really simple, and I tried to do a cute little emote thing.
Dear CCP, give rock, thank. Yeah.
And then your second one was the orangutan ones.
Yeah, where rock?
Where rock? Where did they go? But so those rocks have been gone. Okay, here comes our guest. So we'll do this quickly. Hi, Loki.
Hi.
Welcome.
What's up, Loki?
Welcome, Loki. I
Loki,
even made a special special image for you on the stream. It's like a Cookie Monster, man. Like Choco Chips, right?
And yes, Case, you can join. We're here for 2 hours, so you got time. So, so welcome, Loki. We were just going over some of the industry changes because while we were waiting for you, I was going to go over the rock thing real quick, and then we can jump into kind of your portion and then circle back around. Since I know you don't necessarily want to talk about rocks all day, I could, but
we can talk about rocks. Dude, that's pretty sick, man. That image, I like it.
Yeah.
Is that the Choco Chip Monster?
That's the Choco Chip Monster, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's the last thing people see before they get their shit pushed in by Dread Bomb.
This is the first time I've ever actually seen what you look like. That is
Who?
one sexy ass beard, man. Come on.
Oh, thanks, buddy. It's long too, man. It goes like all the way down.
Yeah.
I
Look at
thought
that.
you were talking about the Cookie Monster.
And the Fat Bee. We were talking about the Cookie Monster, but I had to shift that because that epic beard. Just look at that.
No, I thought you meant you were commenting on
Bro,
the beard of the
Greg,
Cookie Monster.
Put it away.
Greg, stop.
Put it away.
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. I think I just got a little
God.
carried away with my nibbles there.
Listen, we are professional. We are serious here.
Yes.
Besides, the
we're
only reason
100%
why you're not
serious.
allowed to rub your nipples on videos because I'm not. So
Yeah, I think you can do it through your shirt. Yeah, you just can't show a nibble. You can probably show somebody's head getting fucking blown off live on stream, but fucking nipple, forget it.
No.
America.
You got to do the thing. You got to do the thing they did in South Park with the cable companies, where they just rip the tiny holes right by their nipples, and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry, we can't help you."
Fune, wiggle your fucking cord on
Face
your
roboting.
on your
It's
thing.
okay.
It's not robot.
So,
I think it's whatever.
your
Anyways,
mic is
yeah.
dying, Mifune.
So
Oh, fantastic!
back to the rocks. We're almost done with the rocks, then we'll move on. So they deleted about 14,500 belts from Eve, which was every single belt in Curse, every single belt in Providence, except for maybe like one or two. I didn't see any on the list when I was looking. Most of the belts from Impasse, a lot of the belts from Catch, Awasa got fucking obliterated by like half their belts are gone. Pretty much the east side, the lower east side got hit really hard officially, and then the upper east side got hit halfway, and then magic, find it completely magical and just a coincidence that Fountain, Delve, Period Basis, Quirius, and Iridia were untouched completely.
So Mifune, you look like the kid from the Neverending Story. Can you find like a grain of sand and bring it back, please? You know, the to fight off CC Ping's nothingness. We're gonna have to get you like a Puff the Magic Dragon or something to ride, but like you need to get on this shit.
Oh my god.
Just do a lot of mushrooms, Mifune. Your cat will turn into that fucking dragon thing.
So, like, we know, like, I know why the belts broke up the way they did, and there's some really great threads on Reddit explaining it. But the short term is that because of all the rocks they moved around in game, from being able to go high sec, low sec, and null sec, as well as the true sec that allows certain types of rocks to spawn, there is no rocks that can spawn in Curse and Providence. They're gone completely. They can't have Kernite or Plagioclase because they don't spawn there. Hammerfight and Hedbergite, I'll move to low sec. Amber, Amber, Scordite, Veldspar, and Pyrexers all got moved to low and high sec. And Spod is in Poshfin only, which is basically dead to me because Poshfin is a place I'll never go.
I have a serious question, Don. So with all this stuff that you're talking about, do we have somebody officially in Goonswarm that keeps track of it so I don't have to?
About what, rocks?
Yeah, like all the stuff, right? With the
I'm
binding
the
and
rock
industry and all that
specialist.
shit. So like
yes,
you're officially
so angry mustache would be one of our bigger econ guys.
who was a wonderful guest last week or the week before last. Oh, we'd like to actually
He
apologize
can't
for
come in
not.
yet. Hold on. It's a limitation.
Oh, we'd like to apologize for not having a show last week, but Mifune something.
I had to go to work.
For
I had to
legal
go to
reasons.
work and
Okay,
put
we
my 2
understand
weeks
your
notice
excuses,
in.
but for legal reasons, we really can't get into it.
All right, well, let's jump into Loki's stuff since no one here is being serious about the one thing I wanted to talk about. Anyways, Loki, you are in Dreadbomb.
I am in Dreadbomb.
You are a CEO in one of the corps in Dreadbomb. Are you one of the bigger corps in Dreadbomb, or like average sized, or?
I don't know. That's a good question. Like, I think Steak is definitely the biggest. Like, I don't know. I got like 65 PvP tunes basically in my corporation.
Tunes.
Oh, you don't like me saying tunes? Oh my god, dude.
No.
Whatever.
I told
Yo,
it's a Goonswarm thing. Okay.
I've been gaming since like the 90s, dude. I'm sorry. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. We have 65 characters, so it's like it's not a massive corporation. We are growing at a pretty steady pace. We started the corporation from 0 members 8 months ago, so it's going pretty good.
That's awesome, man. Are you getting lots of kills? Like you don't. Your whole deal is you don't give a fuck who you kill, right?
Yeah, our kill board's actually pretty. Like considering we started a corp 8 months ago, we're doing pretty well. We're pretty. I mean, if you look, if we actually give a shit about what the kill board says, it says that we're actually a decent PvP corp. Yeah, and we pretty much take fights and look for content anywhere that we can. So that pisses people off. They like to say things like, you're on this guy's side, no, you're on this guy's side, no, you're on that guy's side, and we're just like, whatever, dude. Like, we just want to fucking shoot you in the face and have a good fight. And like, recently, we have gotten into tangles with I don't know, some relatively large fleets. And we do try to punch above our weight. So we'll drop minnows, we'll drop hog dreads, we'll be in like nightmares or something and take a fight against 80 to 90 test and pappy mutants actually. But when that happens, then the rhetoric becomes, well, you guys are on the goon side. It's like, no, we're on the side of
Oh
like
my
we want to
god, Tuesday
kill
was
shit.
hilarious.
I think it's ridiculous that you guys get thrown into the middle of this war, and it's like I feel bad almost. It's like I have to like apologize that like people drag you into our problem when you're just third partying and having fun.
Well, this is one of the most. So this is probably the most tribal game on the internet. I think that's probably fair to say. This is a
Yeah.
tribalism machine, and especially now, the war is massively politicized. You have basically 2 groups, and then you have everyone else who's not participating, right? It's just funny because like we won't shoot in it on a faction fort kill because we want the faction fort kill, and then like 2 days later, they're helping Snuff to like destroy all of our shit in low sec, and we're shooting them in the face. So the rhetoric is pretty interesting. The politicization of it is to some extent annoying, but like whatever, dude. We're shaking it off. We're basically just on our own little thing. We hang out with RC,
Shut up, Brisk.
and we just want to get some kills.
So real quick, Keish is joined us today, and I believe this is Keish's first ever public appearance.
Ooh.
Let's see if he talks.
Oh Lord.
Hi, Keish.
Hey, Keish, how's it going?
You all
man?
have not gotten to hear the sultry tunes of Keish's voice.
I don't know why everybody says I have a sultry voice. I'm just
You do. Your voice is so unique.
So Keish is one of our ops FCs in Goonswarm. He does a lot of stuff. Unfortunately, he's been in and out because of work in Japan and other places. So he's not always available to enjoy, but I'm glad he's able to pop in today. Have you been doing much lately? Are you busy with work right now?
work's kind of had me most of it, and I just don't have as much time to sit and spin ships waiting for things to pop off. And I'm not a real I'm not a pre-made PvP kind of guy, so without like the time to dedicate to hunting for shinies and all that kind of stuff, it's kind of not really able. It's not a game you can just kind of like casually play, in my opinion.
Well, this week we've been showing just a itsy bitsy tidbit of what Test has to look forward to if they decide to try and live in Delve. Which honestly is right up your alley, Keish. If you don't have a lot, and this is for any Imperium member, if you don't have a lot of time to devote to sitting around or hunting, if you want to be able to hop in for quick, fun action and then get the fuck out to do whatever the fuck you're doing, NGSA is available, and Theta as well has been hunting and dropping in Delve, murdering people, ratting and mining in Delve. And we've had a lot. They killed like 4 bill of Leshaks this morning. Theta's killed a couple small things. We killed an iHub this week. Randomly, they let us kill one.
Yeah,
we just randomly killed one of the Vedmax just prior to this. Again, like how do you drop on the same guy twice in like a few minutes?
It was just about, I would say, an hour after the public ping went out to say that NGSA was active and about, and not even like an hour later, there was another ping. Here's a battle report. We just killed over 500 million ISK worth of Myrmidons.
Yeah, it's obviously not like Loki's having over there with Titan clashes and Macarial fleets.
No, but it will turn into that. I don't doubt that if this war continues the path that it's on, you are going to see a lot of test people being like, oh my god, guys, we're finally in Delve. We have the umbrella. Let's super rat in deep Delve.
They can super rat.
Are they actually silly enough to start super ratting?
They have been super ratting.
They've been super ratting in their home space and
yeah,
in
Loki,
Delve.
do you want to come kill some supers? I do know where some are. If you guys get bored.
How disconnected I am.
I always want to kill supers. Yep.
Okay. Well, they're very easy to find, and Villy's very confident in their ability to save their supers in period bases, which is where they super rat most of the time. Unbeknownst, and I've tried to explain it to him, but he doesn't get it, that it's literally one Black Ops bridge, gate, Black Ops bridge, and they're dead. And no matter how good you think you are, you will not save them.
Yeah,
unless they save themselves.
It's not as close. Like their main super fleet, like they can't easily get down there with regular caps even. Like they would have to have it staged in their keep star in period bases. And like death clone or something down there, or jump clone.
Hey Mifune, that link from Greg is for you, buddy. That's for me.
What is it?
And in case if my typing you looked weird, I spilled Coke on my laptop or my keyboard on Monday, and my L key and my left shift don't work, and a lot of the keys don't work quite right, so I couldn't write out an actual message to you.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you smelt toast, or because yeah. Well, I'm glad you did respond, because I was like stared at it, kind of like pretending like I didn't see it.
We channel no, there's no L's anywhere.
Wow, so anything that you spell like with an L can be wow.
I've had to get really creative with sentences this week. Because I can get an L up, but it's a lot of tasks to make that happen, so
I'm
been able to use.
I'm thinking of some dirty words that start with L or that have L in them.
God.
Good Lord, Don.
So,
speaking of dirty stuff, how's your fanfics coming?
Not been inspired lately. I know it's been a while, but I have to be inspired. And the few things that I was inspired by, current events throughout the war have kind of ruined that scene or that scenario, or would make it not make sense. So I'm just like, and scrap it. So
prior to the show, we do like a 15-minute thing on Discord, and it's like blah blah blah. So anyways, Mifune panned around his room, and it turns out that he has a dollhouse in his room. And why are you not actively playing with that right fucking now, bud? Please,
it's a broken doll. It's a broken dollhouse.
So all the things you could bring with you from fucking North Carolina, wherever the fuck you come from.
This
You brought
wasn't
a
mine.
damn
This was here, that whole
dollhouse.
closet.
Did you check it, or did you fucking, or you didn't fly? You drove, didn't you?
No, I flew.
Oh, you
The
flew. So
dollhouse was
was
here
it
at
a
the house
carry-on?
before I got here. No,
So you
it
had
was
it you had
here
it
before I
pre-shipped.
moved.
So you
Okay.
shipped it ahead,
No.
right?
So
And what is there like special sentimental value to this dollhouse?
it's not his, Greg. He's told you that.
No, he never
So-
actually said that. He said it was here when he got here.
Yeah,
He
that's
didn't
not
say
his.
it wasn't his.
It's not mine.
There you go. It's not
Hmm.
It
his.
is not mine. It is owned by the family that lives upstairs. Lets me
So
use their basement while me and my best friend find an apartment.
so Loki, Tuesday, they actually even last week and multiple weeks in the row, they have been ragging into you hardcore on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it's just like a byproduct of A, I can take their bullshit, and B, not a lot has actually been happening outside of Losec at this point with your guys' structure. Well, it's basically
It's
like
just a structure grinder right now.
Goon sitting around waiting for things to happen, and Pappy structure grinding fucking everything forever. So I mean, it's like, oh my god, Max died. Oh my god, they lost Titans. Oh my god, this is crazy. Like it's yeah, I mean, it's there were fights, and
And they would have ragged on you guys for losing what 7 Titans, which let's be fair. You probably didn't have to lose those, but they're your ships. It's a good old fun time. But they want to just kind of slough off the fact that they lost double the amount of Titans we lost.
well, that was kind of my retort to fucking Villy was like, he's still kind of digging in the knife with the 7 Titans. I'm like, dude, do you remember like a couple of months ago when you fed like 300 fucking no, you don't remember that? Okay, because I do. I remember that whole thing.
I remember Billy has the largest loss under his belt of anyone in this entire game. I know it's shared technically between all of them, but if you're the only one out front at the end of the day, you're the one who gets to take the heat for it. Unless you want to blame somebody else. Oh, you don't want to? All right, well then it's going to be you. He'll take it. And yes, he's the biggest loser in this game.
Well, he wanted his name in the fucking book, right? He wanted
It's
his
there.
wanted his own
Well,
chapter.
there you go.
So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of interesting. I think to some degree, it's like Loki is on the show to apologize or explain random losses that he had almost nothing to do with most of the time. And I'm just like, whatever, dude. Just it's all good. I just get that. It just says something about the state of affairs right now. That is the center of attention. Like some Max or some Vexers or whatever. Feeding happens every day all across the game. Any null block that wants to point the finger at RC, for example, for feeding Max on a single occasion, has to look at its own history and within the last 6 months and just look at the things that you fed. It's like, oh, it's just a mutant fleet. Oh, it's like, oh, it's just a couple mutant fleets. Oh, well, it's just
Oh,
fuck.
it's just 75 Titans in one day. Oh, it's just
Right.
120 Titans in one day.
But it's just interesting. It's interesting what happens when nothing else is going on, and then your group is the only one to lose something. It was actually quite unexpected, really. I was like, I was just prepared to say a little thing and then like shake it off, no big deal. And then like we made like what 5 shows about this shit at this point. I'm like, holy fuck, guys.
Larry. Well, that's because they're
It's all in good fun.
they're just taking forever. We're ready to move on. They decided to take a practical but useless and annoying strategy, and because Billy doesn't know how to finish, I think he's got a problem. But
And it is a sad occasion. Because I believe we all remember with M2 that every Keep Star has a story. And especially in Goons, when you have corporations building their own Keep Stars in Delve, and that was beautiful. And the Keep Star that was donated to my old alliance by a player in my old corp. We helped. He funded the Keep Star. Some of us helped him out a little bit, but the majority of it he funded himself. And that Keep Star has entered its armor timer for this week, and it's sad to see that Keep Star go.
at this point, it's just another Keep Star.
Yeah, I
Free
mean,
time.
Everyone has their own little set, just like Biggs, or I think his name is Biggs, the guy who was the original name of the M2 Keepstar. Their corp had their own nice little story. I feel like every Keepstar in Delve's got that. Everyone's got their own, Keepstar that they prefer to have in Delve, like ZXB.
Don't remind. See, I always wanted to name that Keepstar the Dawn Star because, like, it was my home area, and
It's
I
a
was gonna
fucking
just bring that
building.
up
Who
in
cares?
communication. Did
Yeah,
But-
let's not discuss that story, right?
why not? It's fine. No, it's fine. Honestly, Billy's already killed more than that or lost more than that. It's fine. But
Fair.
yeah. So how many Keepstars left? I know we got the 5 in 1DQ, N-Tech 8, 3 Tech D. Y-Tech, I'm pretty sure has one. 5BTK has one because that's where ASCII lived. By the way, here, little tidbit of history for everybody in chat who's not part of Goonswarm or newer to Goonswarm. In the heyday of super ratting in Delve, 5BTK was the most dangerous system in Delve because ASCII lived there, and asking them to know how to rat safely was like asking a fish to walk on land.
5BTK, that's
right next to 1DQ.
Don't say that. That happened once.
That
and then
one.
look what happened.
I know. Look,
Yeah, I
then we
know.
got all this.
We started playing Eve.
To me, one of the most dangerous systems was 7 UTB because of how many excavators and such would die there every single day.
No.
See, you guys are such pussies talking about ratting or whatever, mining over there. And there was just me. I would literally mine an NPC.
You had a moon out there.
I had several, and like they're decent moons, and nobody wanted them because they're an NPC Delve. Like, why would you get an NPC Delve one? I'm like, well, just because there's a station here doesn't mean like I'm in any more danger than I normally would. It's still within super range. We have structures in here. But everyone's like, you're such a dumbass. I'm like,
Hey, Ragnar, did you get on that Joey Zom fucking Revelation kill earlier?
yeah, I stole some of his shit from it as well.
Yeah, could you tell us what happened there?
That was epic.
I don't
I
know.
was there for that
Apparently
too.
Joey Zam was being stupid and T5Z got caught, and then we dropped on him.
So we got to hear like the actual story because I did
Azrael,
not
were
hear
you
about
there?
this at all.
Azrael,
Yeah, I'm here.
were you there at that
Oh
one?
yeah, I was there.
What happened?
So what happened? Like,
So-
explain the actual story.
So I can't remember who caught him, just fucking around with the Rev, but they
It was a fleet that
they
was
tackled
out,
him.
right?
Yeah, it was out and about. Like it wasn't really on anything except for like the.
Was
the
it
Antiblex.
roaming or was it?
No,
No,
it was
really
either
like
near
near what-
the beacon or the Antiblex, and they caught it. And then they pinged for us to come in, and we're all laughing our asses off while we're jumping in, fully knowing we're going to die. Like the fact that any of us got out alive
Right.
was just hilarious because they pinged for everybody to come and bubble the shit out of all the gates, and we're just warping around the system after we blew them up, just laughing our asses off.
And then Ragnar stole his stuff.
And that's the story. I died on my way out, and I couldn't care less.
See, my story
He was there to
more
kill you
concise
because.
and to the
So
point.
you pinged. Hold on, you pinged the iHub, and then he was coming to respond to it. That's great. That's such a Joey thing to fucking do it himself.
Are y'all not going to discuss his loss of his Knicks in 9DQ? Like, that was what, March?
Oh yeah.
What happened?
Another one of his alts. He had been in the back quarter, like pretty much solo ganking people in his Knicks.
I
And,
remember
like,
this.
in true Joey fashion, got too big for his britches.
That's got to sting, especially after the big change that just went through.
Didn't he also
Like I
lose,
looked
like, a
at
different
my
super recently?
at
He
my stack
also-
of capital parts, and the fucking price tag is just ridiculous right now.
So like 2 months ago, he fed like 10 dreads to us, which was hilarious. He was
And he also killed like 6 titans. Like, let's not like
no.
jerk
I'm
ourselves
gonna,
off a little too hard here. Yeah.
I
Woo!
am.
We killed 10 dreads. Hey, and 6 Titans are dead.
And I killed
I'm just
Joey
saying it's a
Thomas's
bit,
dread. Oh, I took his corpse. Don't give a damn. We got him.
Okay, as long as you're proud. I'm just saying, like, let's keep it a little like in perspective here. Joey is really good at taking advantage of dumbasses in 1DQ. It
Because
shows
he
that if
is
you put a
one.
little bit of effort in,
You
you'll
gotta
kill
be one to know one.
him.
So on a side note, I want to thank CCP, like whoever was there that thought a corpse like tractor was
Oh,
necessary.
the Sanguine
That's
one?
amazing. Now we just need a corpse launcher as like a short range target painter. Just saying. Okay, I've been asking for this for years.
No,
Okay.
I've been telling CCP for like 2 years now.
Well,
But
I
they've
was
been hold on, wait. Listen to this concept, right? So how they're introducing all these blueprints right now and doing all this stuff to make the game more complex. Why don't you add a crematory in Keepstars where you can cremate the corpses and turn them into parts to make implants and make implants buildable instead of just LP stuff?
Because that would
okay.
result in some pretty interesting RP shit, I think.
That's
Yeah.
crazy talk
It's
right
too
there.
tied to POSCO,
Yeah.
so I can't do it.
Can you
Yeah,
imagine?
sorry, man.
Can you imagine the memes? Why don't they add insurance to Keepstars? Wouldn't that be interesting?
Oh my god, we'd make so
That would
much
be.
money.
Yeah,
you
we
guys,
would.
you guys would be rich.
You know,
Insurance,
you know what?
insurance scam and shit. That would be amazing.
Not owning what I still love. Okay, that Marius guy on Tuesday.
I
He's
didn't watch
just
Tuesday, so
he's just so dumb. It's like I can't even like talk to you because I don't even know where you're coming from
Can I
at
just
this
say
point.
it's definitely Blazing Bunny with like a little bit of a muffled fucking mic. It's like he switches mics or something.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
honestly, he has the exact same fucking voice. Like it's
Only he talks a lot, and
creepy.
Bunny usually keeps himself to quiet and poignant things instead of spouting about Brave being awesome. And I'm like, you guys couldn't even handle a 30-man SIG. Like, what are you fucking talking about? The only reason why you got anywhere is because Severance and P Horde and Tess came over to wipe your butts. So I don't really want to hear it.
So can we create like some kind of like theory where like this is like Blazing Bunny's like
Alter ego.
like alter ego? Yeah, like all the things
Where
he
he's got,
he
like,
can't do as Blazing Bunny, he does as Marius.
Maybe. It could be one of his spy alts.
I mean, he is known to have spy alts. I don't know, dude. It also is very strange that Blazing Bunny almost always appears at the beginning of a show where Marius also appears and then leaves halfway through the conversation and Marius continues on. And this has been a continuous thread. I don't know. We're gonna have to start like time stamping everything. We're gonna get like some yarn, obviously, with like I don't know. We're gonna start drawing those weird connections that conspiracy theorists do on the
Make
walls.
a cork
Like
board.
yeah, exactly, yes.
No, what I find funny is they were ragging into you guys about being you were calling yourself a low sec entity, and they're like, you own more Sov than goons do. You're a
Oh,
null
yes.
sec entity.
The
It's like-
conundrum of is RC a null block or is RC a low sec block? And it's like, honestly, who gives a fuck? A. But B, the conclusion we came to was that the determination for what a null block is somebody or some entity that exudes power into a null sec region, right? Now that is a very, very open-ended definition. And what I should have actually asked in hindsight to Villy was, well, okay, well, how much power? What is the measure of power then? Like there has to be some gauging factor because I can, take I don't know, 1,000 fucking new bros from high sec and I can, exude power into null sec. That doesn't make what I'm doing a null block, right? Obviously. So it was a very
well, that's
interesting thing.
basically what P Horde is. And you know what? They were talking about, they're like, Death Standing is so cool. I'm like, you literally have like 10 Lashaks running around doing stuff.
Right,
Like,
but my argument's this though, right? To equate Dread Bomb to Pandemic Horde, those like no, right? Like that round hole fucking square peg, completely different things, entirely different. The only commonality is that they do have solid flows in nullsec, I suppose. But outside of that, there's literally nothing else that they do that are in any way similar, right? Like organizationally, structurally, like completely different. Like anyway, So it's just, I don't know. It's an interesting conversation. I don't know how the fuck we got on that topic, or why people in this game like seem to need to put labels on what we're doing. It's like, this is the thing though, right? The conundrum is we do things because we want content, not because we want to go take things, or we want to, I don't know,
Rule
take
the
resources.
universe.
And the null, yeah, exactly. And the nullsec entities, I think, have a really big problem with that, because they just don't understand. They're like, well, wait a second. You guys are just like getting out of bed in the morning so that you can just have fun instead of do all of this work.
This is serious spaceships, okay?
Yeah,
Exactly. And it's like they don't know what to make of it. It's like, well, okay, we need to define what you are then. You're a null block. And it's like, well, are we though? And it's like, what the fuck? It's just the strangest
It's just
series
so
of
that way if
conversations I've ever had.
It's just
All-
a label so that they can determine whether or not you're a force to be allied with or a force to be reckoned with, and that's honestly what it is.
actually what it is
But do
they
you
want to
plan
be
to
able
stay here temporarily, or?
they just want to be able to jerk their dicks off it when they push you around out of whatever space you're in.
Yeah.
Because if you're in low sec, you don't ever get pushed out of low sec. You just kind of like hang out in a station playing station games, and that's it, right?
There's no meaningful way that you can really push a low sec entity out of low sec outside of, I mean, you can always just move to a
unless you
different
live there
low
too,
sector.
and just
Yeah, like you're just gonna purge our structures. And yeah, so like in the case of Snuff, for example, right? They have fail cascaded different alliances throughout their history, obviously. Uh, but that's only because those entities already had massive cracks forming, and then the pressure that Snuff was able to impose, and basically fail cascaded that alliance. And they purge all their structures and shit. But like, there's nothing saying like in low sec, if like, oh my god, Snuff is over here, I'll just go over there. Like, fuck you. Like, as long as if you're very specifically like a
but you're still
faction
a low
warfare,
sec entity, right? And so people don't really worry too much. You can always be like, oh, we're just playing to this side. But if you own null sec and then you start losing stuff, everyone's like, ha 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 ha! Look at how useless you are, you null sec person losing all your space. We evicted you. And I think
Right,
that's what they want to do, is somehow label you as a null sec entity, because Villy's clearly hurt, but then his boyfriend Seto didn't, not touch his stuff while, and pushed his babies around. So now their plan is while trying to keep us down, to probably go over and try to purge you guys from wherever you're at. And then
Yeah, I
feel
mean-
like, yeah, we kicked another nullsec group out of nullsec. Ha ha ha, we're so cool.
they would definitely have to do one before the other, because I also like test USDC LOL. But I don't know, man. Like, at the end of the day, though, it's like, who really cares? Like, Wrecking Crew historically, and like this is the thing. If anyone really wants to talk about Wrecking Crew, like, I have like literally no place to actually be talking about this shit, because like I kind of like, I'm new to Wrecking Crew. I'm new. Like, my corp is new. Like, Dreadbomb is a new alliance also. But historically, Wrecking Crew have been kind of farming Providence for years, and that's kind of how they built their whole situation that they got going. And then one day they pushed them just a little bit too hard, and all those people ended up just leaving. So we kind of got stuck with, like, what do we do with Providence now? Well, I guess we'll take it.
Live here. There's no belts. You don't have to worry about that, though.
The thing about Providence is it's a space that's really existed under the control of Provi Block, even when it's been purged, because no one really actually wants that space. Like, there's a whole bunch of different reasons why it's not the best nullsec space in the game, basically. And I mean, we're there because, well, we're making lemonade, I suppose, to some degree.
Unironically, Providence has turned into, with all the changes they made, a reasonable location because of its easy access to high sec and low sec.
And all the R4. Yeah.
Yeah, right? So, because it's got a couple direct connections, just like Catch has, head GP, they've got Didal and K whatever not over there.
Yeah.
KBP7,
I feel like I definitely agree that Providence is that space, that nullsec space that nobody wants. But as someone who started this game out in Provi Block and lived in Provi Block for about a year, Provi Block was, in its basic concept, I feel like an essential part to Eve, right? And it was even though people will say like the leadership was toxic, shit went down, drama went down, and they ended up doing this and that, whatever. But the basic concept of Provi Block was something that I feel like should be something that should always be in Eve, and that is a place to start in nullsec, because nullsec's harsh, man. Always has been, always will be, right? And I feel like Provi Block to a lot of people was that place that they could go to learn about nullsec and how it's so different from high and low sec.
Well, it was for me too, right? Like I also started in Probiblock. I was in Severance back in the day with
Ew.
actually a shockingly high percentage of people in my corp currently who are all, 15-year-old vets or whatever. But that being said, I think that we should be offering new players a better experience than, like you say, well, Providence was a great place for new players to start. It was also riddled with fucking problems, like massive amounts of
Yeah.
political
Yeah.
stupidity. It was led by the blind. Like most new bro friendly entities are, like the new bros leading the new bros, and somehow like these 15-year-old dudes stay new bro. I don't exactly understand how, like they just
Yeah,
never
remember
master.
brand newbies are
It's
newbies,
because
and we got to
Right.
leave them alone because
You
they're
never
newbies, right?
you never ever really master. No, but the people in charge almost never really master like the mechanics of the game, and anyone who's actually good at stuff usually ends up moving on, and so you're kind of left with shit most of the time. So I don't know, I thought NRDS was an incredibly horrible uh undertaking, I suppose, to some degree, just because of how the game is played, right? when I
Yeah.
first got like joined Wrecking Crew, I ran like I think 4 or 5 cap hunting like little blops fleets or whatever, just to say like, hey, I'm low key, like, I'm here. I want to do stuff with you guys. And I was 5 for 5. Because you don't even need spies. You just have like neutral rapiers, like warping on top of like fucking Thanatos's uncloaking. Like they don't even move because, well, you're not on the kill list, right? So I don't even point them. I just let my sign know. So I'm not on the kill mail. We have tackle jump through that get bridged, and then we just kill the Thanatos. And I did that 5 times consecutively, and I'm like, wow. NRDS is dog shit. So we need a better system than that.
Yeah, like no, and I definitely agree, because Eve changes, and that's one of the things that we're going through for the past year. We're going through a major
It'll be
shift in
2
the way that
years
Eve
by the
is
time
played
it's done.
and will be played. It'll probably be 2 years by the time they're done, and it might kill the game, but we can all pray that it won't.
Can I just edit what I said? So Goomba Freehand something in chat says NRDS was such a cool thing. It kind of was. It was a very like
an interesting concept.
It was an idealistic way of looking at humanity and looking at the game specifically. And so I can see the idealistic aspects of it, and it is the kind of appealing to our better angels to some degree, right? We can be better than this horrible dog shit that the horrible things that we do to each other and the horrible way that we treat each other in game. We can aspire to more, and it's like, yes, we can, except that that's not how you win.
But do we want to?
Right, and so if you're gonna, so this is the thing, right? So now I'm gonna FC a bunch of fleets, and it's like, do you really want like a bunch of neutral dudes just hanging around checking everything out all the fucking time, like while you know what I mean? Like,
That was the thing when it comes to like what Wrecking Crew and what happened is that like at first, like way back in 2016, 2017, Wrecking Crew, they were only there to get free kills, right? And like you said, they pushed that killing a little too far and ended up starting an all-out invasion of the damn region. And then like Pandemic
technically
Legion
there's
helping
no
out.
too far in Eve. So
I mean,
Alright,
there's no too far. But the thing was that
Mifune, we're gonna have to get you. Can you do me a favor and like restart your microphone or something?
It's
like
not
to
his
give
microphone; it's his connection.
Or whatever.
It's my-
Restart your connection.
I can't. That's the thing.
All right. I'm gonna give a shout out to Shirar, who is subscribed to INN with his Prime 28 months. Like, I'm not good at math, but that's like well over a year.
Yes, you are correct.
Just
a bit. Yeah.
Now, I want to ask Keish, since he's here. Keish, I know a lot of people probably don't know you for our viewership or VODships. Where did you start in the game?
I mean, I think it's a good thing if people don't know me, right? Like, just let me
No,
stay a
I-
ghost.
Oh,
No,
I think everybody knows Cash.
I started out actually as a solo low-sec pirate, and then I fell in with a little group of people. I was actually in a Drake shooting a posse in somewhere around Villemer, or Villerier. And this little group of dreads warped in. I was like, "Oh, I'm about to get fucked." And they were like, "Hey, bud, you want to join up with us real quick?" I was like, "Sounds better than me losing my Drake." So started that. Man, that was 2007, I think.
Oh dear God.
2008, something like that. I forget.
Oh, so you got in around I did. That's cool.
Yeah, I officially started playing the game like at the end of 2006, and then creeped my way to low sec. Went through. Man, I forget what the names of the things were. I can look at my character history real quick. This is what happens, right? You just become forgetful of where you've been in Eve.
You're just an old man and forget everything now.
Yeah, right.
I've been everywhere.
Yeah.
By the way, Keish is one of the best looking goons in Goon Swarm.
Back in my day.
Now you're gonna make me blush. Yeah, I mean, like I was technically in the original Goon Fleet back in 2008 because my buddy was Something Awful's member. He goes, "Hey, dude, get on this forums and join this thing since you're playing Eve with me." He's actually the reason I ultimately got into it, and then I went off back to the whole pirate thing. Tried out the Beyond Divinity group. I don't know if you remember that group. And
we're all
then went
youngins
through-
comparatively.
Well, moral of the story, went through a couple different, like, essentially low-sec pirate groups. Dug my way back from -10 twice. Then started rolling with, you remember Fatal Ascension?
Yes.
Okay.
I remember FA.
FA forever. Bounced through there a good bit. Became a FC for them, running around with them. I don't think we had the same structure like Ops FC and Skirmish FCs, but I ended up getting into Clan Shadow Wolf with Zagdol when Zagdol was running, because Clan Shadow Wolf used to be the leading corp for FA, and so I started working with Zagdol for a while. Then in between, back then I was still active duty military, right? So a lot of my Eve history has deployment gaps in it, so take that for what it is. And yeah, so from FA went to CO2 back when they were not what they are, right? And then
You were in
when I came,
CO2?
well, when FA disestablished itself, that's where a lot of FA members were taken. That was back before the CO2 backstab.
Mm.
Yeah. But all that occurred essentially while I was, I can't remember if I was in Iraq or if I was just wherever I was at that time. And then when I came back in the end of 2017, I picked up with Shadow State and been rolling with them since, I think, officially 2018. So that's been my kind of story. Only thing I've ever really done in Eve is PvP. Well, I mean, I take that back. You've seen me out like try different things. Like I tried roll coal mining with you. That's when I first came across Theta, right? And
yeah, and then people yelled at you, and then you like cursed us all afterwards. I'm like, but it's not my fault. It's not even.
I didn't curse anyone. It's just not worth my time to deal with people, you know?
Well, now you just hear Greg talking about weird creep in various places.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all.
What?
Yeah.
You should hang out and stay tomorrow, Cash. We have a lot of fun down there, man. Some interesting discussions, that's for sure.
There was.
I used to frequent. Ragnar can remember. I used to go out like bait hunting, when you could put sinos on everything, right? And got Theta some nice drops back in the day, but
well, we're at it again. We're doing that kind of work again. So if you want some pickup some pickup PvP, we're there and we're ready.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll definitely. July is my next expiration date. That's I disappear for a few months again and go traveling the world. So we'll
No.
yeah, we'll see how that works
Now,
out.
no, funny enough, Keish and I have some very interesting history only because like I like Keish a lot. And I think I'm the only person that calls you Keish when you're supposed to be Cash, but I can't. There's an I in there. So
I've always said Cash. It's
Like,
always been Cash.
I'm like, this is what it is. But you came in the first time I met you, you came in and talked about the weather with Tuzzy for 2 hours straight. And I at one point just said, anything but the fucking weather. Because I was tired of listening just because it had been forever. And I feel really bad now because I didn't know who you were then. I thought you were just some loudmouth that just talked about the weather all the time. And everyone's like, but it's interesting. And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm a loudmouth, and I do. You can bait me into talking about the weather for a lot. Just responding to y'all's chat, there were doctrine restrictions. It's just we didn't have the regimented FC structure. I mean, it wasn't as hard in stone. If that answers the chat statement about having doctrine restrictions, you definitely couldn't just like day one FC grab shit. And yeah, Don, I still remember that where Tuzzy. I think we were talking about a hurricane that was
Yeah,
moving up
Hurricane
the East
Matthew or
Coast.
something was happening, or
Mhm.
like Helen or something. I don't remember, but yeah, they were like there was a hurricane coming in, and you all were really excited about it, and like I'm happy to let people talk about whatever for oh so long, but after 2 hours, I was like, I'm done. Can we talk about something else?
Yeah, and I guess for
And
those that are unaware, my profession is operational forecasting.
he's a weatherman.
I'm a weatherman.
What is the highest topped thunderstorm you've ever seen?
Highest top. I mean, I can go look at one right now that's easily into 56, 58,000. The highest I've ever measured was probably around like 62 because you can get essentially where it breaks into the stratosphere. That's where you get the bubbling tops of thunderstorms. So
That's
Cage does
really
the weather
cool.
for like cool stuff, but interesting. So one of my favorite stories that I have with you, even though there's two. So one of them, you asked me to come on a fleet with you just to entertain the fleet, nothing else. He's like, you said, I just need you to talk to the fleet, keep them entertained, because what we're gonna do is really fucking boring. And I did that, and that was pretty funny. You're not the only one that's actually brought me along on fleets now for entertainment value.
I
Apparently.
remember a very specific fleet that had Don refuse to talk to me or like for several months. And
No,
is
yes,
you
that was the other one I was gonna go
yes.
into.
The phantasm. You're like, oh, I'm so happy. This is such a cool ship. I want to take it on your fleets. And at that time I was running little pickup thorax gangs. And I'm like, hey, you can't do anything to my thorax gang. We're gonna kill your shit, and if we die, we're gonna have fun. And like you wanted to be unique, and I was like, all right, yeah, bring it. It's not my fault if you die, though. Like I'm running thoraxes for a reason. And that I still have the clip of that was one of the best executed
bombing
off-grid bombing runs, or what do we call them now? Pink tack bombs or whatever. Tech bombs. There you go. And they completely obliterated the fleet as we were warping to the gate. And you were so tilted because you lost your phantasm.
Well, it was a Christmas present and it was fitted out nicely. And I was like, I didn't care if it died, but we hadn't done anything yet. We had just gone out, maybe, I think, killed maybe one person or were hunting around. And then I got through a gate first and I was like, oh, hey, there's Test here. And it just swooshed. Like nobody thought of anything, like go look at anything or X anything. We all aligned, warped to the next gate, and then it happens. And I was just so mad. And then I was like gonna pop off, and you were like, "Hey," and I'm like, and I was like, "I don't want to say anything mean, so I'm just gonna leave." And it's true, I did not go on a single one of your fleets for a year
It's
because
funny
of that.
because the next day we ended up killing like 2 carriers in a roll cool.
Which is such a bullshit. I was so mad.
Anyway,
It's all right.
I hate to interrupt, but I do have to leave. My roommate needs help cooking, and I need to
Okay.
help him.
Bye, Miss
So
Renee.
I will catch you guys later next week. Hopefully, hopefully, little, I guess, Theta Thursday announcement time here. Hopefully, we are in the works to get an interview with a CCP developer. So make sure you stay tuned next week. Hopefully, we still have to work out some things because it's like midnight for them. So it's kind of like we got to figure stuff out with them, but we're working on it. So stay tuned for that shit. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm heading out.
Thank you,
Bye,
Mifune.
Hey,
Mifune.
Mifune, just before you go, just find a luck dragon. We need you to fight the nothingness, okay?
Gotcha.
Bye. So, but yeah, I felt really bad. I wanted to snap off, but I didn't. And that's probably been my biggest strength in Goonstorm in general, is knowing how to, even though I will bitch to a lot of people about stuff, uh I do know sometimes when to just shut up because I'm gonna make things worse, even if I'm right, or if I'm even if like what I'm saying is probably correct, or maybe it's even potentially like a good idea or sound. Like sometimes people just don't want to hear what you're gonna say. Not in that particular situation, but like just in any situation. If you look at
Don's been drinking.
You can always tell when she's been drinking.
Oh,
There's-
wait,
there's-
I've got my
there's-
shopping list in front of me. I'm adding that. Hold on.
there's different levels because like there's like happy go lucky Don, and then there's like
The bourbon's
Black-
got a hold of her.
blackout. I don't know what I'm saying. Everybody's mad at me in the morning, and I don't know what happened. And I wake up to random messages that I've sent throughout the evening. That I get mad at Ragnar for not muting me when he should have.
Hey, I remember like when I used to actually hang out down in the Theta comms, and you guys would be mining, and I'd be just literally lurking, waiting to like come kill whatever drops on somebody, as I think most of Theta was at that time, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you just hear you like all of a sudden go like mama roll cool and be like, "Hey, mining frigate, come over here and do this and do that." It's just like, and then as you got more drunk, it became more aggressive.
That's still true. We got to mine yesterday, which was really nice. But let me tell you, circling back to this bullshit. Kate, how much are you aware of all the changes that have been happening the last month or so? Are you up to date at all?
If it has to do with mining and industry, I don't do mining, as you know, except for like when I gave it a try. And I've washed my hands of any industry since things that won't be named.
Oh, yeah. So they have completely changed industry. And Cap Titans now require P4, a bunch of these weird things that only come from like gas sites and relic and data sites, and a bunch of other shit. They've taken out most of the minerals. I mean, there's still a chunk of minerals that are required, but they've put in a lot of dumb shit that decouples it from the subcap prices. But to give you an idea, a Titan is now going to be roughly about 150 billion-esque with current day prices.
Sweet. Good thing I've got all
So-
mine.
I was gonna say, you know that that sweet Erebus you got. If you're in a pinch for cash, there you go.
I
Just
can
sell
just sell
that.
the spare one.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
So, but yes, on Tuesday they deleted about 14,000 belts from Eve from nullsec.
Didn't Matt
Just
Earl say it
gone.
was like 1,500 belts, not 14,000?
No, it's 14,500.
Holy fuck.
Zkill confirmed it. They deleted 40% of the belts in Eve.
Wait,
What?
so just like warpable? You're talking about like just the warpable location?
Warpable asteroid belts. The location gone.
So?
What's the
don't-
reasoning behind that?
Don't
Well,
most
I
people
guess
get
they
moon
decided that
rocks and stuff?
since people were crying about the fact that there were no rocks spawning in these belts, instead of changing the regional distribution to allow rocks to spawn there, they just decided to delete them instead. Unfortunately for them, that means all of Curse lost every single asteroid belt it has, and therefore you cannot officer rat there or hunt there, so you can never get a Tobias officer module again until they put them back. Unless it magically spawns on a moon belt or a gate.
Interesting. I have a Tobias officer web that had been mutated or whatever with like turned into an abyssal mod.
Didn't I've full Komodo, right? I've not kept up with any of it. Didn't they like reduce the anomaly belts too, though?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
this
didn't
is
that happen a couple
so
months ago?
so Curse is an NPC region
Yeah. I'm
specifically.
just talking about
So it
like as
has no
far
add-on.
as like resources go, right?
Yeah.
Didn't they like I think that was
They're
like what
yeah.
half a year now? They like reduced the amount
it's a
of
year. It's a
okay.
year from March. So it's been a year of belts with almost no rocks in them. And then asteroid belts also got, so the anomalies got reduced, asteroid belts got reduced. The only place you can mine chunkily was on moons, and then they took all the ore out of moons and just left moon goo. So it was just a sea of R4 everywhere because they didn't replace ore with anything good.
So did that asteroid belt thing, did that affect
Yes.
all security statuses?
Yes.
So what about it? What about like the new kid on the block in high sec just like learning the game?
So Veldspar is chunky enough. Like the rocks they're not as big as they used to be, but you can still sit there and mine Veldspar because you can't do it in a Rorqual, so it's slow. So, but yeah, I mean that's where if you look at the MERs for the past like 6 months minimum,
bunch of cap boosters.
the 14
cargo
out of the
hold.
15 regions
Medium
for mining,
ancillary
the 14 of the top regions, sorry, 14 out of 15 of them are high sec. For
Well, I
mining.
mean that could be because of other reasons too, though. We both know that, right?
No, I mean it's completely because there's nothing to mine in nullsec, and then they moved all the Veldspar. All Tritanium is in high sec. You can't get Tritanium anywhere else. So,
Well, that's awkward.
Well, we can keep in mind that I guess there's probably still 3 other industrial kind of patches that are going to happen at some point.
Rorquals are going to be murdered. I'm calling it now. They're going to make them just boosters again. They're going to get rid of excavator drones completely. All that LP and all that money. I know I spent $1 billion each when I bought mine originally. All of that's just going to be completely gone. We're not going to get anything for it. It's just going to be a module you can't use. And orcas are also probably going to have their mining ability taken away because CCP doesn't like that you see seas of orcas mining freely in high sec. So they're going to remove their mining more than likely. And then it looks like CCP is, I would guess CCP is going to remove all asteroid belts from the game because they want to make things more modular where they can adjust them at will. Like that's their plan, is to make it so that way if they need to turn something up, they can. If they need to turn it down, they can, and not let that way if anybody's like cornering the market on anything, they can just be like and no and turn it off or try to bring it down to be equal with other people. And so I'm guessing that all asteroid belts will be removed at some point or
You really
changed.
believe that?
Yeah.
Because I mean,
they just got rid of 40% of them. I don't see why they'd stop.
They've rebalanced ore like across the cosmos many times throughout EVE history.
Yeah.
Like they've changed where the different moon goos were back when you extracted moon
It
goo.
used to be passive.
And that's what actually like drove a lot of the conflicts back in the day was they shifted the moon goo, so now your region's more like shiny, so I'm gonna come kick you out of your region and take your region from you. Right?
Well, they completely fucked Losec on the last industrial iteration, we'll say, because they rebalanced Moongu and took it basically all the R64 out of fucking Losec.
I'm not gonna cry for you guys, but I can understand the pain.
Well, you get take all the R64, but then most of the ore that people need.
Yeah, you guys have all the ore now.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. Now what I'm saying is, like 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
4 or 5 years ago, like so, I was in Shadow Cartel at the time, right, which relied on moon goo and other things, Pocos and things to SRP their members, and they were already having a difficult time trying to fight Snuff and all this other shit, and then CCP basically took away like all good moons in that like entire region, and eventually they just kind of closed their doors for a bit, or didn't really close their doors, but just kind of stopped existing for a minute, I guess, or stopped doing anything at a high level. It was a very bad time for Shadow Cartel anyway. We'll just put it that way. Snuff cuddled up to the goons and survived, but
Hey, they made a good choice. You know, basically got their entire super fleet for cheaps, and once they were done with us, they left. Anybody else could have done that deal. I mean, other than NC and PL, but anybody else in this game could have had that deal too.
I never understood that deal actually, because it's like it presupposes like I don't know what the actual like, you know, I don't know.
Snuff was blue to Goonswarm, so they didn't attack us or bother us, and they were supposedly gonna, help us do stuff, and they probably did. They worked a lot with Initiative, so them and Initiative did a ton of stuff together, and they still do randomly. I didn't necessarily, and then they were just blue to Initiative and not to us at one point, I think, and then they unblued everybody, so it gets weird.
I don't know. It was a really interesting thing because I didn't really understand what the goons actually got out of the whole thing, but I mean, whatever's. I guess
Well,
maybe you guys are trying to move into low sec at one point, maybe.
I think it really was just completely that Initiative and Snuff were working together so much that they just decided it'd be easier than having to and if we're blue, then Snuff shouldn't be dropping our stuff in Delve as well, because we didn't need another crazy person trying to kill us. One's enough.
Cough, cough, Omega.
I know, right?
Did my camera
yeah.
just freeze?
It also had to do with the routes in and out of our little pocket of nullsec.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and I still find it interesting / fishy that the place that Pappy's moving into is untouched by most of these changes, like greatly, where the space that they left has been fucked in the ass very, very roughly. Like, no collusion. We'll find out. We'll see. That's just my tinfoil for the week.
Oh, it's. I mean, Dawn, that's never happened before. Not with any big block. That's never happened before.
That's the sticky part about this. Is the thing I was thinking about
Never.
this the other day, like being a CSM member and also running an alliance. Like, I don't know, dude. Because literally anything you do, right, regardless of whether you had the information before or not, will
Like, yeah,
get
some of those
construed as you, like, you know, taking
like, how
secret
do you
information. And
Yeah, it's like, how do you make a choice for your alliance without knowing, like, because obviously they don't get told everything, but they do get told, like, here's some ideas we have, so kind of what CCP's thinking, which is, let's say, oh, Losec's gonna get some good stuff. We're looking at adding more to Losec, so you think to yourself, we probably should get some more, more holdings in Losec because it looks like it's gonna be getting updated here soon. Like, you're right. Like, how do you separate leading an alliance effectively and, still being a good CSM representative where you're not abusing the information you're getting?
right, yeah, it's pretty interesting. That must
I mean,
be very difficult.
yeah, especially
Like,
with these drastic changes that are happening insanely fast.
I just like the asteroid belt. I'm still kind of like mentally chilling with that. I don't understand what the benefit. I don't
It's
like.
it's a quality of life thing. So that way, when you warp to a belt that has no roids in it, your heart isn't broken. That's literally it. Is just remove them because we don't need them there. Oh wait, it breaks officer ratting, and it also breaks ability to raise your military ADMs in some of the uh, null security space, because there are some that's like Sov null that got fucked too because of its true sec and location. So it's they didn't think about the ADMs when they did the first changes to the anoms, and we had to explain to CCP that you had to own moons to be able to get your ADMs raised because there was just not enough ore at all. And some places the NPCs mined everything, so you couldn't even get to the ore before the NPCs mined it all.
Greg,
it
you
only
misspelled cash.
Do you need some Iskies, bud?
Nah, man.
He's got like 3 Titans. Do you have 2 Titans or 3 Titans?
I liquidated my building on the rag, which would have been the 3rd. And
Two.
I've got a spare hell that I'm trying to liquidate as well. It's
Well,
a hyper gank hell.
So wait till after the patch, because right now people are going to try to buy it for the normal price, but we're not going to know what the new price is going to be till we get to see really how the market stabilizes. Do I think Titans are going to stay at 150 bill? I don't think so, but they might.
So
But
to be clear here, when you say people, are you talking about T5Z Pappy forces, or like who are we selling these
Oh
supers
my
to?
god, that post. He was like, look, we got all these supers from the Goonies.
What's going on?
There was a post, some like guy from Shadow State, actually. Not Shadow State. It might have been Amok. One of you two.
Those lies. Don't you dare spread
It
those lies.
It was one of you. It was because of Pittsburgh. So and Joey Zam.
I mean, I may or may not have acquired a Titan because of that, though.
Give it back.
I don't know. It was a very
Give
good
it
deal,
back. Right
so
meow.
it's possible that I might have.
It probably was not a good deal. You could have gotten a better deal. Everyone has a Titan from Delve. Everyone.
Slap put on this thing. You could get so.
I don't think I could have gotten a better deal. Actually, it was the best deal. It was a really good deal. So I'm quite happy with it. Thanks, guys. You guys are great.
I know, right?
Was it sub 55 bill?
Yes.
Okay.
That might have been a good deal.
Yeah,
It was an amazing deal.
When did you get it? Recently or?
It was pretty recent. Yep.
Okay, well that guy was an idiot. He should have held on to that damn thing.
I was gonna say, when we came back from burning and salting tribute, y'all remember when we just like salted the earth of tribute?
Yeah, and we left it fallow for people to enjoy.
Yeah,
I was in
that alliance. Yeah, thanks, guys.
Yeah, you're welcome.
You guys were fine. You literally skipped over next door, and we didn't follow you or spend a year and a half chasing you around, quoting that we will never let you rise up and gain power ever again, and we're going to keep you down and keep the rest of Nullsec all blued up until we know that you are beaten. Like, we didn't do that shit. We just beat your ass for a month and left.
That was pretty inspirational, Don.
You guys were looking for an excuse to leave, actually, I believe.
Yeah, because it was boring. You guys wouldn't fight. We were all right, we're done.
The diamond rats. Oh no, we got to go back, guys.
Hey, they were shooting a lot of stuff.
Hold on, time out.
500 times in an hour.
That was actually the drifter shit that popped off. Like I was leading that fleet that first came home to respond to the drifters that randomly started reffing all our shit. So I remember that was on a was that on a fireside, I think, because I remember Mittens was talking. He's like, "Hey, we need to get this formed up." He's like, as we're running back, he's still talking as I'm like getting the fleet together to figure out what's going on with these drifters. That was that whole
interesting
miracle.
that it only happened in Delve.
No, it hit Esoteria too.
But I find out hilarious is that you have CCP devs who were formerly in Goonswarm. You have a fuckload of CSM that are always from Goonswarm, right?
And obviously. No one knew that it was happening.
And yet the goons are always like, the CSM is against us, CCP is against us.
I ain't going that far. I'm just saying that I'm just saying that drifters were just like ripping across Delve, and we're like, we do not know what's going on, and we'd already salted tribute, like going into.
It was already pretty much done.
Well, here's the one thing I do know to be true, though, right? Is that you guys happen to have a very large coalition, pretty much always have, and literally needed to get half the game involved to or 3/4 of the game involved to counter what you guys had built. So any changes or nerfs that do happen within the game, yes, they hurt you. They also hurt everybody else. And because you have more people, and this is an N+1 game, you almost always are assured to come out on top.
Shh, Loki. Shh.
Well, yeah, that's a silly secret that we don't want to talk about, right?
We don't talk about that.
It's just like everyone.
That was literally a Mittens quote from like 5 years ago. But
yeah, I mean, it holds true, right? Every time that they try to nerf something, they're not really hurting. Yeah, they're not really hurting us. They're just kind of screwing over the rest of the game, which is kind of a tragedy, really.
Well, and it's also like your what's the word I'm looking for? Your agility to adapt, right? And that's one thing we've kind of always been a toe
At least
ahead
try
is
to.
the agility to adapt. We may not successfully hit it on the first jump, but the ability to start jumping and figuring it out as we stumble. And that's one thing. I mean, you have to give it, like it or love it. Like it's one thing that you gotta like about the structure of Goons is it has a weird agility built into it that just can reorganize and take on new difficulties. And
That's
on
because
the
we're a bunch of raging alcoholics and we're crazy. So
Yeah, we have
yeah,
nothing else to do.
It's also because you
and
have a very large amount of people, right? Like you're kind of sourcing
No.
brain power to a
No.
certain extent.
No, not at all.
I
Not
would say
at all.
you'd be surprised at how there. You know what? He's right on. There's a lot of people that will tink away at the stone, but as far as like the brain trust that comes up with like the structure of tinking away at the stone to form a statue is actually not that many people when you pull back the curtains.
Right, but
So
they've risen to the top of what 20 to 60,000 fucking people at the end of the day. If you look at all of GSF and then all of the rest of the coalition and all
yeah,
these
but
other.
how many of those are alts? Like, let's be real here. Like,
well,
there's a
A
I
lot
get
of
shit ton
Logan's
of
No, but
point.
alts.
No,
there
I
should
get
be
Logan's
somewhere
point.
in the there should be somewhere in the neighborhood of like what 20,000 actual people involved with Goonswarm all around, right? Like not just GSF, but like the entire
Close.
all of the coalition, like all like your entire fucking coalition.
Not
Well,
even
I get
close.
what
But yeah,
Loki, what
no.
you're getting
You
at
need
is like if you have 100 people that are at the top of however many real people, and let's say there's 60,000 like accounts. Let's say 1/6 is it's still 10,000 people. So I get your point. Like the top 100 that have taken the time to learn the game to be able to like move this force of people. I get your point, and I don't have a hard time agreeing with that at all. Like
Right. No, sorry. So I don't know how many actual people you have
So to
in
give you an
the
idea,
entirety of your not just your alliance, but then all of your coalitions and all of your allies and all those people.
yeah.
However
so to
many
give you,
people those are, like there's definitely going to be a flow of ideas, even if even if those people. So maybe Init is not directly involved with what GSF is doing, but there's going to be conversations, right? Like there definitely have to be those conversations.
yeah.
So
I mean,
you're
people
really
have
so
conversations.
you're able to source from kind of the top and most experienced players in the game over a broad band. Like all of that information for any given patch or any given difficulty can be kind of discussed on a larger scale than other groups would probably have the privilege to do, because you
Loki,
guys are just
I
bigger.
want you to think about it here. They allowed me to be in charge of protecting Delve for at least a year, a minute, where I had the ability to ping supers if I wanted to.
Well, I mean,
I
Yes,
hope
I asked
no one
Jay, and
clip
he
that
said
and
yes.
send it to John. No one clip that and send it. Actually, no one tell John I'm here. That like,
Listen,
Oh,
I
no.
asked when I got given roles for Theta, because it wasn't like, oh, just ping supers whenever. I asked Jay, because at first Brown Star was like, don't
I
ping
miss Brown Star.
supers because you need a super FC to take care of it, blah blah blah. And I said, okay, that's fine. Like, thumbs up, that's fine. I'm not an ops FC. I can handle it with carriers. Carriers can kill dreadnoughts just fine. Throw a bunch of bodies at it'll be fine. No big deal. But then like I was talking with Jay, who's like higher, and I was like, hey Jay, do you care if I use supers? Like, is that something I'm allowed to do, or should I like still just it was like 2 months later, right? So it's been a little time. And he's like, ping whatever you want. I don't care. I'm like, all right, woo.
I just need to go on the record and saying pinging Theta and getting Theta members to throw their supers and having super keys are not
Yes.
the
Yeah.
also
I know.
doing
Easiest
the
way to get keys for supers in the alliance. That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, I've dropped Theta supers like
yeah,
numerous.
exactly.
I mean, it's like
Oh yeah.
I just would,
It's
and
also
I
like,
do not
if
have super keys, nor do I really want them, to be honest.
if they let me do it, like I feel like sometimes, yes, Goonswarm has some very smart people who are very knowledgeable about their areas, and they have good organization. And that if one thing falls apart or like falls off, we can at least get by at minimum. Except for if like Kelgarth and Nom Nom disappeared and our web services went down, everything would just be fucked.
Yeah.
But don't
You know
don't
what?
take them out.
I
We'd
think
still be
people
fine.
underestimate the amount of IT infrastructure goons have, which is actually, I think, the secret power that's kept goons as agile as we see someone taking notes at this game. Is without you take our metagaming IT out of this, and I personally think you would have goons at a far different power capability without without our authenticators, without our forms, without Mumble, without everything that we have outside of the game. Shit, just region commander or and other tool sets that we use
Well, that thing's
as
amazing.
as an FC, just being able to do certain things and have feeds for certain things that dump information into my brain. Like they pretty much just pump it into me so I can understand what's going on in my little world to be able to run my fleet. You know what I mean? Like just that little microcosm of it, let alone the whole bandwidth of what our IT infrastructure can do. You know what I mean? I do have to give a shout out to the great brain trust we have on the outside the game IT infrastructure that we have.
Yeah, it's
That
pretty
is
damn
something
good.
that no one else has.
It's
Although-
automated leadership, really, at the end of the day, right?
No.
If that all did fall
It is
apart, though,
automated clerical work.
I have a
So-
feeling we'd probably just revert to like a Zoom call.
It's more than just clerical work though, because it gives you the ability to. I mean, it's mass organization, so you're able to know. Okay, well, if I want to play this strategy, how many people have these skills, for example? And if you have a tool that can show you that, then you can actually make effective decisions as leadership to enact or go with a specific kind of strategy. I mean, I don't know. It's
I
massively
think only 10 people have that sort of level of access.
right,
Yeah.
but it's massively useful, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Like,
and
It is.
without that information being cataloged,
Like to
there's
see how
really
many people
no-
in our alliance can use this type of ship right now
Yeah.
if we needed to. I don't know how many times that comes up because normally whenever something like that comes up, it's usually like X in Elysium if you can fly this type of ship, and then we just X up. So I don't know if they ever use that like that, but I do know
mean,
a couple
probably
people
not
in good terms.
probably not anymore, right? But when you're beginning an alliance or you're growing an alliance, that becomes massively important.
I mean, it definitely still happens on like the squad and different Sigma squad levels, like to assess memberships and also assess capabilities of your people when you're designing a new comp or whatever, right? I've
just
seen
never
that,
would be a good
like
idiot.
watching other people do that. But whenever like your infrastructure is based on the same IT infrastructure that publicly traded companies are, and it's for a computer game, that should tell you something, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But and just kind of take us back to like the salting of tribute. I like how everyone kind of just forgets what happened to the Expanse and the Spire. You know, remember Kavala Expanse and the Spire? Like those are like the two that people seem to forget were glassed before tribute. But it just the reason I bring that up is it just goes to show you that Eve, the nullsec, when it's working healthy wise, you have regions getting glassed, not frequently, but not like into the world. So I've kind of had a chuckle this whole war to myself of like, we're gonna remove these people from the game because we take a block from them. That'd be like us saying we took NC out of the game because we took tribute. That's not a truth, right? Because unless you're uninstalling the game and you stop playing a video game, you can't remove people. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
I just wanted to point out you said the word expanse, and that's a badass show.
Yeah, it's
I mean, I'm
very
a
good.
fan. I guess I should have said Kavala. I get nervous because if you know me at all, you know I can't really pronounce shit.
Yeah,
'Cause you're a weatherman.
the first Jeff deployment, it's some pretty interesting named systems. Gosh.
Aunt Nor.
You wouldn't
Well,
say half the names. You're just like,
Yeah.
we're going here.
well, if there's people like if there's anybody here like was from FA days, whenever I used to like know Life FC, like I would take out 12-hour fleets or from downtown to downtime fleets, and I'd have some people like kind of running as my I guess we call them now back seats, but really there's like people that were kind of the center of the people that I PvP'd with. one that comes to my mind automatically is Bria Villa. And there, I'd be falling asleep at my chair, and I'd say, "All right, everybody go," and he would literally no shit. He got to the point where he could understand what I was mumbling. He'd be like, he said, "Set your desto to here," and like I would be in like this catatonic state until all of a sudden we came across some PvP, and then I'd start calling targets again and all that shit. So it's just if you play the game with me, you accept the fact that words may not be correctly spoken.
Cash, you roamed enough that I'm pretty sure you're the reason why my assets are just absolutely crazy.
Probably.
Like that, I've got shit on like every corner of the map right now because of you and NPC stations.
Yeah,
It's not my fault.
jackdaws, random places.
Yeah, jackdaws, bombers, like you name it, it's everywhere.
I've got dreads in random places because of Cash.
He roamed through Thera. Like who does that?
I mean,
I've got ships in Thera.
back when you could go kill people, that was a great thing, right?
There's nothing to kill now.
Remember
That's
this
fine.
nugget, Cash? Just use your jackdaw flying skills.
Oh my god. I'll never live that down, right? So dumb. Some of the stuff I've said, like, and the sad thing is, like, there's YouTubes of it, right? Like,
Slav squat.
oh my god. But
That's
you know what?
probably my favorite
It
one.
makes me laugh, and it keeps people engaged on fleets. That's where a
Well-
lot of the random shit from my mouth comes from.
I will agree with that. Like, you know, I've been in since 07 as well, and you kind of brought some spice back into the game, and you really actually got me back into playing the game and actually interacting with people. I don't think anybody actually heard my voice or knew who the hell I was until like I actually got onto one of your fleets. Like seriously, like it was fun as shit after that.
Hey, I think I like to think at least that I am one of those FCs that I have no. I have. Well, let me correct this. I have a massive ego. Like there's no
No, not
there's
at
no
all.
questioning that. However,
You? Oh, never.
I do not get a bruised ego by other people wanting to be successful and help. Where I unfortunately there's a lot of FCs that just because either they haven't been doing it long or just that's their style, they do not like help. They do not they've got it. You strap in and enjoy the ride. Me on the other hand, I love having a group of people that I work with. So when you start showing up on my fleets and you're like, "Hey, I got you. I'm going to be your dictator or I'm going to go hunt for you or whatever." And even if you suck at it, like as long as you're willing to try and work with me, you know, I mean, if you're bubbling my fleet the whole time, that's a whole different story, right? But that's
And then
why, like,
whenever you get a god into your fleet like Ultra
Fuck Ultra
Cow,
Cow.
I mean,
Oh my
good
God.
shit.
Can I blame Ultra Cow
It's
for the
fucking
reason
amazing.
why I became like dormant in Eve? He's just without Ultra Cow, it's not as fun.
Yeah, he's pretty
Aw.
badass, man.
Where is
Like,
he busy
oh,
right now, or did he like have a cow?
Last I talked to him, he was just busy IRL.
Yeah.
I see
Well,
someone on the
I figure-
Discord,
yeah,
Lord Jackson. That's another guy that he started out from like
Theta.
putting a toe into PvP, and now look at him, right?
Fucking baller. Is it Loki's that he balls around in? Or is it
Yes.
Tengu's? One of them. It's a T3, I'm pretty sure. Balls around. He's just like, oh, by the way, I've killed this person. Oh, I got this person too. And it's just so quiet about it. Like, you'll only hear him pipe up every now and then and be like, God damn it, the bitch got away. Like,
Yeah.
Jackson's a little treasure. He's a little mini Raikiri. God, I miss Raikiri. That bitch could kill anything with a Titan. Didn't matter if it was an interceptor or Hecate or a whole Megatron fleet. That bitch could catch him and kill him.
he single-handedly probably caused CCP to nerf shit. Like,
No, Gennel, Mr. Frisker, the Sister Fister did.
that name, that
It
fucking
got
name.
it got petitioned. He's very
Really?
upset of it.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah, and he told CCP he would never come back to the game again if they didn't change it back, and he is 100% serious. So,
Oh my god.
so
People
Don't
getting
expect-
butthurt. Like some of the names I see flying around, that is the least of their concern.
yeah. So, well, they petitioned it after the M2 fight because Tess didn't like getting lanced to death by his Titan. That they petitioned it at that point, just out of spite. Shocker. It's a great name. I don't know what anybody's yelling about. So
Sorry, what was the name?
Mr. Frisker, the Sister Fister.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty run of the mill. Like, I think we forget this game is played on the internet, and this game used to be the most toxic place in fucking Eve.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
sorry.
Hold
This
on,
game used to be
what?
This game used to be the most toxic. Sorry, I'm doing something else. This game used to be the most toxic game on the internet. Like,
No, I liked it the first way. That was
right, yeah.
better.
This is like the most toxic place in Eve, guys. No, like Eve used to be like the most toxic place on the fucking internet, though. Like, it was
Yeah.
really fucking toxic.
League of Legends has definitely taken that one.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
Well,
People
in
are
different
talking there, so-
ways, though. You have a lot. Like, I don't know.
does everybody
there used to be a lot
remember
of
what
like
local
really.
spam used to be? When the game had an in-game browser,
Yeah, it was.
Oh, that was the
pretty-
shit. Oh, the music player was the bomb diggity.
and the whole goal was to get people to click fake links in local spam. Right?
Oh yeah.
I
Oh,
still
you
get
you
that,
never knew what
please.
was going to be in there.
Ugh.
Because some people, there's enough people that have checkmarked "Don't ask me again" when they click on a link, right?
Yeah.
And so there's enough people who will just see something like you just link a Z kill, say, "Oh, so and so died in a Titan," or "Oh, look at this," dumbass lost 5 bill, and everyone clicks it. Everyone clicks it, but only few enough actually go through with it because their fucking Eve settings are dumb and they don't check the links.
Greg,
So-
I have something sad to report.
Oh, what?
Oh,
After y'all brought up the Jackdaw flying ability, I was looking because someone like recorded that, and I've lost that clip. Like someone recorded that because it's another one of those moments where it's just funny shit, right?
Well, what specifically happened? Was
it was
this
you
guy
and John,
drinking,
wasn't
like,
it?
I can't fly a jackdaw.
Y'all can tell the story. I think it's better that way.
Go on, Greg.
Well, we were out on I can't even remember what the hell we were doing, but I think it was you and John, right?
Yeah.
And we were out and we did something and we were trying to get back, and Cash said, "All right, it's not that hard, people. Just use your jackdaw flying abilities," as we were trying to burn out of bubbles or whatever the case was. And then I think Cash used his jackdaw flying abilities to
Die?
yeah.
It was almost perfectly. I warped to the wrong gate, got caught in a bubble, and died. I believe is how it ultimately played out, right?
Success.
Because that was back when we were at the stain gate, right? Like when we were screwing around.
Jackson's writing it out.
Oh, well, there you go, Lord Jackson.
Well, they can't see it. Only we can.
Yeah, but the short story of it is, I was running side seat with John, like he just said. We were on the way back, and John's doing John things, so I was just guiding the fleet, right? And someone just was having a go of it, right? So I was like, just use your jackdaw flying ability, like very not condescending, but definitely dismissive, right? I was like, is tongue in cheek, but at the same time, I was like, just fucking fly your ship, you know? And sure enough, I ended up warping to the wrong gate because I got distracted by something and died to stain Ruskies. So that was.
When you say John was doing John things, what that translates to me is being very upset at Goond for disappointing him again.
Well, there's a
Am I
question,
right?
Cash. What's it like
There's
having
a
John
lot of
as a
disappointment
CEO?
to go around there. I'm just saying. Like, if any of you think that we are good at this game, you are sadly mistaken. We are all bad. It is great.
I don't know, I'm pretty good. See my Z kill?
Greg, I've seen that beard. Of course, you're good. Look at
Jackson, is that why I warped back? Okay, so Jackson's correcting me. He said I warped back to help the one guy that I was telling to use his jackdaw flying abilities because he was getting bullied.
Now,
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds like a much better story. I would stick with that.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks. Hey, I'll pay you later.
You're basically a hero, right? at
Yeah,
this point?
I died for his sins. There you go.
I remember that now. I think I was on that fleet because
No one.
someone else is freaking out, like, I'm stuck, I'm bubbled, help me. And you're like, come on, man, just use your jackdaw.
No one laughed more than John. That was the best part.
Yeah. Oh, he didn't let me live it down for a while. You're about to ask a question, by the way. I heard you kick.
I was gonna say, what's it like having John Hartley as your CEO?
He probably doesn't
well,
bother you much.
so remember he never wanted to be CEO. He's CEO because of the other members of Shadow State that have went on to other things in life, and then other people that have decided to go turncoat to the enemy. Yeah.
Like Pittsburgh, is that who you're talking about?
Well, Pittsburgh became CEO because other people left. So
I see.
yeah, Pittsburgh was not the purposed CEO. He was the CEO next in line whenever people do the real life had to step from the game, right?
Gotcha.
As far as John as CEO, I mean, I've played EVE Online with John since FA. That's when we first ever PvP together. I to this day, every now and then when he remembers to give me shit about it, gives me shit about killing his Sino ship that he brought a dread in on a tower in Fountain. This is 2011, 12 time. And the story is I had a Whelp Cane fleet. Remember, those were all the rage. And we were defanging and killing a Poss. He signed in because back then John was like recon extraordinaire, like the God's a gift, right? He brought his own dread in, and I jokingly was like, I'm going to cycle one time on your Sino. I'm going to kill it. Ha ha ha. I, in my young, in my distractions in youth, I forgot I had everybody assign their drones to me. So I deactivated my guns. I just can't help what the drones did afterwards. So
They murdered John Schiff.
he's -1 Sino ship. He very promptly decided to tell me to go fuck off and warped his dread back to the station. It was like, you can kill it yourself then. So I like that because it kind of like it encapsulates all of John. Always willing to help. Is willing to be very self initiator, self doing things to help people out, but does not have time to deal with stupidity. And I think that's a really good way to describe John, right? And I think nowadays it's just he just wishes people were at his player level in most games. Being a person that plays a lot of games with him, that I would say that's kind of probably some more bedrock foundation, right? Or frustration of his is he just wishes he had a stronger competition, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think a lot of it with John too, people that don't get John and people that don't like flying with John are people that don't pay attention on John fleets. People think that they can just go and if you pay attention and listen to what John's saying and follow his instructions, you will fucking win. You will get kills. Period. End of fucking story.
Yeah, it's because he's probably one of the best. He's one of the best minds when it comes to combat in EVE Online, let alone a lot of games. And I'm not just saying that as being a John like fanboy. I'm saying that as a person that appreciates skill. There's other people that I'm not going to stroke anybody else's ego because you only can do that like one person per minute, right?
You can double fist it.
But like that's the thing, and he puts a shit ton of effort. Like he's not ever just running one character doing shit, right? And a lot of my motivation back in the day for having more than one character and having the plethora of characters I do came from watching how he was able to be everywhere, you know? So there's a lot of effort put in from the person, and when people are too lazy to even follow simple instructions, I think rightfully so, he gets a little bit angry.
I think a lot of people also take some of the things he says too personally. Like, you know, when he yells at the fleet, you know, being like, "You guys can't even anchor up. I'm leaving you here. You guys can find your own way home," and then leave. Because like he's really just gonna be so mad he'll just say worse things. So it's honestly probably best for everybody if he does leave at that point. But you know, they're out on period basis. They're not that far. It's not like he abandoned them in the middle of Kavala Expanse to figure their way out here, right? They're in period basis on that particular instance. But, you know, a lot of people that came back upset about the fleet, it's like, well, I was doing what I was supposed to do. I'm like, well, clearly somebody wasn't. But
it
don't
must be
take it personally.
It must be frustrating when you have to appeal to the lowest common denominator, though, as an FC,
Sometimes.
right?
Well, it depends how your alliance is structured, right? Like, because it does and it doesn't to some extent. Like, I don't know. I've never left a fleet behind. I don't get that
He's done that.
riled up that people are. I mean,
So
Elo used
He
to
did
do
that
that too.
twice.
He
time
really
that
like
out
him,
with that. Just like you gotta. There's different episodic chapters of John too. Like if that makes sense at all, right?
This
I
was
guess, but it's like
post
I'm so good at the
CD.
game that I'm gonna abandon my fleet in the middle of nowhere.
That's
No,
don't take
that
my
was not
words,
what-
Loki. Do not take my words that way. I'm talking about different time periods, like in FC burnouts and different things where you've just been going hard for a year plus at a time, and different things occur. Like I would, what's the word? I would challenge you to find me an FC that's been doing block level FC for more than 2 years that hasn't had a phase where they burned out or got frustrated. And don't take the words when I said he is at a different level as meaning he treats his members like shit because he thinks he's at that level.
He
So
wants-
I've actually been on a couple of those fleets where, well, one of those fleets where he did that. And honestly, if you were incapable of burning back on your own and not dying, you kind of deserved it. Because even though he left, which Don said was good reason, I think if anybody gets frustrated with a game, it's probably good to just set it down for a little while. But yeah, like when he did, you know, have us
Twice-
like go back on our
twice
own,
total.
we should have been fully capable of doing that because we had the routes, we knew how to get back. Like fly
You
your
also
own
were,
ship,
like-
know how to play the game.
You were literally in period bases, so like it wasn't like you were far away.
And
it
Yeah,
was
it's
some
like we
bridge
come
away.
right back.
the other part of it too is remember he's on the hook for other parts of like the alliance defense at that time. Like that's the other thing, and that's why I said you have to look at the different chapters, right? Because he has a lot of other obligations to the alliance at different time periods through his career in Eve, if that makes sense at all.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know, dude. If you're
And
getting
I-
that mad at people, you probably need to step away. A
Well,
bit
and I
from
mean,
the
and he
game
did,
because-
right? He
Right.
did take a break from Eve.
He was burning out from being head of CD, and he was just selling all his cows, getting with his girlfriend, moving in, getting a new job, like there, and then obviously the war. This was all during the war. Like he's never left a fleet that I know of before the war. But that particular instance, what happened from what I remember, because I happened to hear it, they had the target. They were going down period basis to save a target, to which Ranger Regiment had already saved the target and were fighting. And they were like debating on whether or not to go in there, but I think someone got caught, and basically someone mouthed off to John, like from what I remember, pretty badly. And so he's like, you know what, you guys can figure your own way out. Home, fuck it, and left.
Yeah, on
Gotcha.
the topic of imbalancing on fleets, that I have not personally witnessed that. I
But
mean,
it's
I've heard of this. I've
twice,
heard
I
of this instance that happened this war. But also I know that there's times where I've been in command channels where there's frustration, right, of people not willing to commit because when you're planning a step attack, right, you need things to occur, and so if people all of a sudden don't do their part, it's like, well, now you just fucked us all, right? But as
Yeah,
far as
I totally get all that
yeah,
frustration.
but
for sure, yeah.
typically, like the anger that's communicated to the line member, like if anybody's ever been in command channels with me, when the people that are supposed to be supporting me are just straight incompetent, like I get heated. But as we see in the chat, like I don't think most of my fleets, the line members never know that I'm pissed off at something going on in the background.
Hey guys. So
Yes, we all saw the ping.
yeah. Don, do you want to say something about that?
Okay. So I guess Test is holding a sign of vigil for one of the members that have died. It doesn't say who, and I don't know who. Don't shoot anything on that cube star for the evening, at least on the cube star for the evening. And apparently goods have been invited, so if you knew the person or feel inclined to show support, you may go over there as well. Once again, don't shoot anybody. They might shoot you, I don't know. So
You know, actually, can we take a moment and talk about that? Because I think that's not perfectly timed, as in like the person passing away, but perfectly timed on the heels of the statement of this used to be one of the most toxic places. And I agree and disagree at the same time, because over the years I've seen my enemy is a target, not a human, flip on the turn of a dime as soon as something IRL outside the game happens, and it brings the entire gaming, like the community that considers itself part of the gamer community of Eve, together, because different Sinos vigils have been held for people that have passed away, and they've happened during wars and during peace. And people from all over our little cosmos have came to pay tribute and pay vigil, right? So, and these are people that rewind the clock 2 days and they would have talked ill of each other. So we may be toxic, but it's I think a lot of the toxicity is kept very much internal to the game. I know you have your outliers. I know there's certain shitheads, and that's why you don't see me on Reddit. That's why I don't have a Reddit account, right?
You miss so much fun.
That's why I mean, that's why I find I don't know, the cancel culture that is currently going on and then kind of filtering itself into the game. So somebody has a name that we don't quite approve of, so we're gonna get that guy's account banned or get him in trouble or whatever, right? Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, literally that was done because more than likely we're on separate sides, we're politicizing everything, and this is just one little way of getting back at the enemy. But at the end of the day, we're all part of the same demographic of people. We shouldn't forget that, right? I mean, we're gamers. We're gamers within a certain age group. We're gamers that mostly do particular kinds of jobs, like certain kinds of jobs, almost, uniquely. Like there's a lot of kind of like little points that make Eve players, regardless of what side of a war you're on.
What is your average? Now I'm curious. What in your mind's eye is a category of jobs that you think Eve Online people have?
Case, you fall right into one of them.
I mean, it's largely in my experience. I mean, so like I'm a chef, so I obviously probably don't fall into that. Obviously, Eve is a diverse group, and there are lots of people who do different things. Mostly, I think it's people who have IT jobs or computer related jobs. Um, I don't know. I've met shitloads of people who do a lot with engineering, and I mean, this is kind of how you get these crazy ass spreadsheets and this methodical way of looking at
The other
the
big
game and
one.
all this other stuff. I'm not saying that everyone who plays Eve, has an engineering degree. What I'm saying
There
is
it is.
we are generally similar, more similar than we are different
So the
in a
other
lot of ways.
big one in Eve is military.
Look what Drakes for Life said. I
And
like
and
it.
the military, you're right too. Yeah, there's a shitload of military
Carnus
guys.
to Mike Flood.
Yeah. Carneris is not our oldest member. Our oldest member that I know of is Magnum Allen.
Magnum. Yeah.
Magnum
He's like
Allen.
70
God
or
bless
something,
Magnum
maybe
too.
70.
What a good man. Just a shout out for Magnum, and I think we should have Magnum on the show one week.
We tried once, but Boat decided to talk about showering for 25 minutes. So.
I mean, I definitely think Magnum over me any day. Like that man's a stud. And I get your point. Like there's a sci-fi does attract a certain mindset. Yeah. But I have shockingly found that a lot of Eve Online people, it's a fantasy that captures everyone's attention. Like if you're interested in any kind of like sci-fi stuff, it doesn't really matter what career field. Like I have good friends I keep in contact with still that like yourself are chefs, are they work on transport ships like cargo vessels. They're farmers.
You see a lot of people that are night cleaners at adult entertainment clubs too.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. So what I'm trying to say though is at the end of the day, like we're not just sci-fi enthusiasts. We're sci-fi enthusiasts who are also gamers, who are also heavily invested in MMORPGs, which like almost I don't know, man. Like it takes a certain kind of person to stay with the game, which is why you have CCP not really able to hold the attention of a large swath of different people that come through the game at any given point, right? We're all invested heavily in Lost for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why that's the case, but we certainly don't seem to mind it. We probably hate ourselves secretly deep down inside too. So
we're all a little masochistic.
Pretty much, yeah. I don't know. It's like, oh, look at this beautiful thing that I built. Oh, it's all dead.
Oh my God,
green
great
man.
Yeah, he's got a green screen.
It's the little green man.
So
yeah, no,
Greg,
I get what you're saying, Loki, for sure.
There are a lot of. I mean, obviously, yes, we're not all the same people, but compared to the rest of the world, generally, I would say that I get along with Eve players a lot more than I get along with other people, regardless of the fact that I'm not a goon, right? I'm on this show, we're having fun, we're able to talk to one another. We have large points of commonality. Not all things are in common, right? And I think that that's something that we need to keep in mind just generally is like, just because this guy is my enemy doesn't mean, like, at the end of the day, and this is actually the interesting thing, is when you see other people reaching in that are not part of the Eve community, you get massive amounts of like the Eve community coming together and fucking that person up, right? Whether it's somebody from a PC gamer kind of article that got everything wrong to, you know what I mean, to all kinds of different things. When we're killing each other, we're a certain way, and then when other people come in to fuck with us, we fuck with them even harder, right? And we all kind of tend to band together. So it's just an interesting dynamic, and I mean, we just can't lose sight of the fact that, I mean, I don't know, we're largely kind of invested in the same thing in the same way, and that's a thing, I don't know, like, we're just, I don't know, worth remembering. Like, we don't have to rip each other to pieces over Saw, right?
Yeah, it's almost
Yeah.
like we're a community or something.
Yeah, we're a society. I'd say more so.
Oh
than
my
a
God.
You
community.
live in a society,
We live
Greg.
So, not to break up the feel goods or the conversation, but we are at the end of the evening, and I know no one really cares if we go too long, but I don't want to keep everybody here forever either. So we're going to do final thoughts. Anyone can obviously hang out afterwards. Thank you for everybody in chat who's been hanging out with us. Azrael, do you have any final thoughts for the evening?
Yeah, guys, just, remember at the end of the day, we're all people where we should all be here for each other no matter what. If you want to join us in T5ZI on the Keepstar, I'm here with my Sino. I'm probably going to bring some more alts in here as well. But just remember at the end of the day, everybody behind the computer screens are people too. Everybody's got their problems. Everybody's got life stuff, and if somebody does reach out for you, even if they're like your most hated enemy, be there for them. Okay. And if you are going through some shit, the best advice that I can ever give you is get a friend and wear the shit out of them. Okay. Sometimes,
You mean
you
like
might get
take their
lucky.
skin off?
No. I mean,
You said
just,
wear the shit. Like,
look, this is not like a Hannibal Lecter moment here. All right. I'm just saying, find a friend and spend time with them, because you never know. You might just make a friend for life. Okay. I will say that I did that whenever I was going through my divorce, and I will say this, that my friend, he saved my life for sure. I was in a really dark place. So guys, just remember to be there for each other. Okay.
Keish, and final thoughts for the evening?
As always, I'm wrong. Yeah, I don't know. This has been fun. I'm glad that I hopped on here, and I'll definitely try to, if you guys are having fun PvPing, I'll see what this whole PvP thing is. To see if I remember how to push F1 or something. I don't know.
Oh no, we've gone up to F2. We'll get you caught up on that
Whoa.
too.
Okay, I'm gonna need to
We got
install a
2
training book.
buttons now.
Yeah.
So
But no, thanks for having me. Thanks for the invite. It's been fun. I've enjoyed bullshit with you guys. Hopefully, I didn't capitalize too much of the time.
no, we had nothing planned, so you were fine.
Cash, I look forward to your suicide fleets in the future. Hell yeah.
And then Greg, any final thoughts for the evening?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention again for everyone to be prepared for the first annual Theta Thursday Variety Talent Extravaganza show coming maybe not next week, but in the next couple of weeks.
Next month or 2 or 10.
Yeah,
someday.
it's going to be you're going to be expected to provide 3 minutes of your talent, and it will be vetted by us. Obviously, it has to follow the Twitch TOS. You can sing, dance, play musical instruments, recite poetry, song lyrics. So yeah, if you want to submit your act, we'll have a link for you to be able to do so, so we can vet it for eligibility. And we're really looking forward to this. We're just working out the details now, so expect it in the next couple of weeks.
Loki,
If you're trying to get me to sing, I only sing drunk. Just letting you know.
No. Loki, any final thoughts for the evening?
Just wanted to let everybody know that Banana Republic is recruiting. If you should find dissatisfaction with your current group, give us a shot. We won't let you down.
We're banana.
And and then Ragnar, any final thoughts for the evening?
Just Mad Cows needs this. That's it.
All right. Well, thanks so much for everybody coming and hanging out with us. My final thought for the evening is let me mine again, CCP. I have a very expensive skin on my Rorqual and I don't want it to go to waste, or else I want my $20 back. Choo! And we're good.
Yeah, and just one further thing. We're gonna go. I think Brisk is gonna do something for us for a raid.
No raids.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works. So Brisk is gonna do it. Hang on. I don't know if I have to stay streaming or what.
Idea.
Listen,
if I have to compete with like 5 different shows, I don't see why.
All right, hang on. All right, I'm gonna turn our audio off. Thanks for everybody for coming. And